Hi, my name's Leanne, and I'm a social worker here. And first, I want to say thank you for coming here and meeting me. I know, so, sometimes it's not always the easiest thing to come to you know these meetings. So I appreciate you coming here. Um, so before we get into anything, I want to, just kind of talk about, our roles here and how we're gonna, work together. Um, and then a couple other things too before we just kind of dive right in to things or challenges that you're experiencing. Um, so when we're working together, my role will be to develop a case plan with you, and I won't be the one to say this is what you need to do. Um, I want you to have input in that decision and to say, yeah, I feel like I can do this, and I'll be willing to share some ideas with you as we decide what to work on and how we do it. But I want you to have a lot to say in determining what we work on and how. Um, and then also, when we are working together, it'll be really important that you keep our appointments. Of course, things like illness happen occasionally, and we can change appointments as those things arise. But at other times, you might feel yourself or find yourself feeling discouraged or doubting whether, is this really working? Is this really happening? But it's moments like those that I really encourage you to come in and to talk about that. So, and I also understand that that might not be easy either. So, but it'll help you kind of work out those feelings as we kind of work through some of these, situations that you're being faced with. Um, and then also, something to mention too before we start talking about anything is, um, anything that's said here between you and I is completely private. Um, however, certain things, I probably will, be sharing with my supervisor things that we've discussed or things that, we're going over, because I also want to make sure that you're receiving, adequate support. And so I also consult people as well. But also, there in certain circumstances, however, I might have to share what we have discussed with others. For example, if you threaten to seriously harm yourself or someone else, then I do have that responsibility to report that and to warn others. So in that case, that would mean that I couldn't keep that information private. Um, yeah. Does that is all that kind of yeah, does that make sense, or what are your
Yeah,
thoughts on that stuff and the roles that I've talked about?
that sounds fine.
Okay. Do you okay. Yeah, so just kind of making sure that we're working together and that you are, you know, um that you have a lot of say as in how you want to work together. I think that's really important. Um, and again, I commend you for coming here. So with that being said, I would like to learn, a little bit about you and hear about what brings you here today.
Okay. So someone told me to come here. So this is something that I have to do,
Mhm.
um, which is fine. Whatever I need to do to get Vincent back. So Vincent's my son, and I miss him. and we are really close. So, I hate knowing that he is somewhere else, when he should be with me. Um, so it looks like other people don't agree with that. And I just need to figure out how to get him back. And so that's why I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're here. 'Cause I want to work with you through that stuff. Um, so you said that your son is, not with you. Where is your son?
My son is with my sister Elizabeth, but through the foster care system. So, in
Okay.
order to see him, I can't just drop in. I have to do supervised visits right now. So, and yeah, that's hard to do. It's not how we normally are with each other. So,
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't allow for that privacy to have those intimate one-on-one moments.
mhm.
Yeah. That's not easy.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, uh, what I guess what kind of led to Vincent being with your sister?
Well, I have some, different issues. So, due to just mental health stuff, I had been seeing a psychiatrist and on medications. And then I was having a hard time, so I was hospitalized, and other times when I'd been hospitalized, it was fine that happened, and he was still with me. Other times, just different things would happen, and but he was still able to stay with me. But this time was different, and so due to some of the hospitalizations, I stopped seeing my psychiatrist. Um, I thought that was fine, or I just didn't, just wasn't what I was doing at that moment wasn't as important. So um, he couldn't give a recommendation because he hadn't seen me in a while. So um, I think that was the main thing that was happening that made things different.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So what I'm hearing you saying is, you know, you seeing your psychiatrist, but there was that gap there in seeing him. You know, however, he did provide that recommendation letter, but still, some of those things that you need to work on with him. Um, and did you mention that you are still seeing your psychiatrist, or
Yeah, now, since the hospitalization, so that was just recently, and I've since left. But yeah, so now I'm seeing my psychiatrist and
okay?
seeing a therapist. So, and now seeing you. So,
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, before we get any further, I I think it'll be okay to end today, and then um, let's talk more in depth of some of those needs and start seeing where we should begin, and areas and that you would like to focus on, some specific areas that you'd like to focus on that will lead to seeing Vincent unsupervised, and we'll create some of those goals. Does that sound okay to you?
yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Okay, great.
Okay,
All
thank
right,
you.
see you next week. Thanks.